The procedures, and in parentheses here we say assigned to you, is specifically to you. And I will show you real quick why I say that. Click on the filter, come to the tool rules that are here for the filter, and you can see that this is where assignee contains me. So that's your Notion account that it's referring to. So if someone else came to your dashboard and came to this portal looking at this procedures database, they would only see the things that were assigned to them. So these are all the things that are assigned to you. Obviously, there wouldn't be this many for any one person. I've just stuck 2 sample jobs in here, and in those 2 sample jobs, about half of the things are assigned to Bobo Buckley, and about half of the things are assigned to Robert Buckley. And here, I'm only seeing Bobo because I'm logged in as Bobo Buckley. So just to give you an overview of how these work, someone would have assigned this to you, and let's say that your job is to engineer the project. So we'll open this one. They all work almost identically. Some things are particular to that specific procedure, but this part, let me close these up so you can see how it would look when you first come here. So it would always look like this, and there's basically a very simple few things you do other than the actual process itself. So the first thing you do when you get here is the very first thing at the top of the page is you click clock in, and so you do that, and you can see right now it's clocked me in on January 16th, 2025 into this engineering procedures. So this is starting to track my time. And then if I needed to peek at the instructions, I would click this button here and it would open up a portal, and that portal would show us the instructions, including the video that I'm making right now. So after you clock in, the next thing you would do is edit the name of the procedures. Now this would just say new engineering, new-engineering, and you would replace the word new with whatever the name of the project is. So the name of this project is Buckley Remodel, and so it becomes Buckley-Remodel-Engineering. And then you would check this box. And then to link to projects, you would come open this side menu, and then you would link to the project, and then you would link to the project database. If you float over this, you can actually see the whole name. And then you would link to the rooms. Now you may link to 1 room, you may link to 3 rooms, you may link to 10 rooms. Even if the job has 20 rooms, you may only be linking to a few of them, because if it has phases, you would only link to, say, phase 1 possibly. Phases are material type or finish type, but you will link to the appropriate rooms, and that's why the instructions say here appropriate rooms, and then you would check these 3. I'll link to the project, I'll link to the project data, and I link the appropriate rooms for this process. The next thing would be to change this status. And so this status here will be set, and it's wrong right now because I opened something that's already done, but it would already be set to whatever you're doing at the moment. And so engineering is what it would already be set to. If it wasn't, for some reason, you would go ahead and set it to engineering because somebody didn't do something right. And then you would set it, as it's saying here, to in process. So engineering is in process. You're doing that. And the next step would be to come into the process, and some of these are really long and some of them are fairly short, and your primary objective is to follow the instructions, but your secondary mission is to make them as good as they can possibly be. So whether you're on a phone or a tablet or a laptop, if you're on a phone, you can actually put a picture anywhere if you needed to augment this with a picture or a screenshot. If you're on a tablet, you can do the same thing. If you're on a computer, you can take a picture with your phone and then upload it very quickly. So the objective being to make these instructions as simple but as accurate as you can possibly make them. And you can see here these have already been done, so we've checked all these off, but you have portals all through it. And I'm not going to go into all the portals, that's not part of the instructions, but each portal gives us access into something, and this particular portal gives us access into the appliance. This is a calculator for calculating the X series pilasters. And so you would go down through and check all these things off. In this case, we have 2 options. Are we using KCD and outsourcing our carcass parts, or are we using KCD and insourcing? Are we going to manufacture them? This would look completely different than the other one because this is manufacturing in-house as opposed to outsourcing them to someone else. And so lots of screenshots in this one as opposed to just instructions in the other. And then the next step would be to go to the maintenance area. What do you do when you get done doing the process? And we're telling you very specifically what to do here. So you would change the room process to material acquisition. That's the next step. And then you would change the room status to not started. And then when you're done with this, you would click clock out. You can see this clocked us out here, and now we have a 0.08 hours added to our total. We had 6.3 and now we have 6.38 because of that. When you're completely done, you can just go right back to the procedures by clicking on this button. This button will pop up a box with the intent to say, hey, did you clock out? The screen is grayed out, but I can still see if I have not clocked out here. I can see that I did, but I could see if I had not too. If I had forgotten to clock out, I could say, no, cancel. Then I could hit the clock out button and then hit back to procedures again and say, yes, continue. And that is it for procedures.